Caleb and Matthew from Kings of Leon, you're so welcome and good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Thanks.
It must have been like hanging on to a secret, keeping that album for so long.
Yeah, it felt like it at times. It was a secret that I was happy to keep for a little bit, because we worked really hard on the record. We put in a lot of time, pre-production, actual recording, um, and normally that's when the wheels would start going, and we would, be out promoting it and playing little shows, and then a tour, all that stuff that now, I miss. But at the time, I was so kind of frazzled from making the record. I was like, all right, so it looks like we get to kind of kick up our heels for a couple of weeks, not knowing that it was going to be as long as it
Uh,
has.
Yeah,
yeah,
of
honestly,
course.
during that time, right at the beginning, it was kind of, just to be honest, it was kind of the last thing on our minds, because it was just kind of no one knew what was happening. So we were like, push the album, release. We were like, sure, yeah, of course, like that's obvious. We have to, push it a little bit because we've always supported our new albums with live shows, being around people. So it was kind of weird. No one really knew what to do. So yeah, we held off for a while, and then the summer we were like, we can't wait any longer. So
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's strange in a way. I mean, you've worked so hard from the off. I mean, the Kings of Leon were a very hard touring band from day one, and you never took long breaks. In a way, has this kind of, maybe none of us wanted it, but in a way, is this a bit of a recharge for the band?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this record really show. I think we saw it firsthand that we still have a lot of drive in us, and we still have a lot of inspiration that we want to kind of see if we can touch on it. So yeah, I mean, it's something to where normally, like I say, we would be on the road right now, but I'm actually excited to get back in the studio.
Right. That's
I feel
interesting. Yeah.
I
So,
feel like it kind of opened a new door for us, and makes us want to go and explore a little further what we can do right now.
okay. I mean, with the new songs, Golden Restless Age, I think, is the one that really jumps out for me. Caleb, I know that's one you fought for. Obviously, I'm sure not physically, but I'm sure you a few arguments within the band about what makes the cut and what doesn't.
Yeah, it was physical. We got physical.
You're still doing
Um,
that.
couple of eye pokes. No, it's just it's one of those songs that it just kind of feels good. It feels like something that I would want to be, cruising in a car with the windows
Yeah,
down. And the storyline was kind of I mean, I was just writing about, being young and feeling like you couldn't wait to get older, but really you're living in your best years, and to not take it for granted. And obviously, I didn't realize that what it was going to mean at this point, because I feel like, if I look back on our career, there's a lot of it that we took for granted because we never fathomed that there would be a time that we couldn't get out there and play shows and be on the road.
for sure.
And so when we do get back out there, I feel like, I'm really going to drink it all in and take in the sights and enjoy the tour.
Yes, and songs like that will be so good on stage. Another one, Matthew, is Echoing. That really jumped out too.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I like how that one turned out. I think we worked on that one for a couple of albums, and then
That's
yeah, I
what
guess this
Jared
was.
said. I don't, we didn't.
I think we did. It was totally different. It was, but I think he's more referring to his bass line. Maybe you weren't playing
Uh,
the same thing or something. But he's been kicking that bass line around for a couple of albums. And yeah, I guess it was just the time for that one. It felt a little bit. I guess if you had to compare it to anything else we've done, it kind of sounds like our earlier stuff. Maybe with the
Yeah.
kind of vintage rock guitar sound or whatever. So yeah, that one was. I mean, it was a little bit of a push and pull with that song between the band. Kind of I like personally is like I don't know if it fits, but the guys felt really confident about it, so I just decided to just trust them. But a lot of people like it. A lot of people love it.
Yeah, those differences are what makes a band, though, isn't it? In many ways,
Hmm.
if you're on agreement day one, it's like when you hear an album for the first time. I always think if you like it instantly, there's something wrong. It needs 3 or 4 times
I
to get in
totally
there.
agree.
You know what I mean?
Every album I've
Yeah.
ever loved, I hated the first listen. The first listen,
Yeah.
I was like, this is absolutely terrible. And there's just something that if there's something there that brings you back, you know it's probably going to be good in a few months' time.
I know you're kind of a perfectionist too, and I know you're constantly updating what you do. There must have been a massive temptation though to play this record back and think, I'm going to change that, and that. How did you stop yourself?
I didn't listen. um,
You
I
didn't,
put
Kayla, you didn't listen to it at all, no?
no, not really.
Wow.
Unless I'd had a couple little drinkies at night, and I needed to kind of, remind myself what we had just done. I don't really listen to it. I don't think my wife's actually heard the album yet.
What?
She's
All
heard
right.
moments, and I told her, I said, you can hear it on March 5th when
All
it
right.
comes out, and you purchase
Yeah, you can go
it.
and buy a vinyl copy,
I,
even
s-
better.
I said, I said the money's all going back to you anyways. You might as well shell out a couple of coins.
Fund the family business. But Matthew, were you like that? Were you happy to let it go and not hear it? Because I know, for example, having seen you live a lot, you tend to upgrade songs. For example, on the last tour, I remember the version you did of Walls live. I really preferred to the record version. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, thanks for the compliment on the walls, the live performance, the walls. That's kind of how the song in pre-production, that's how Walls was in pre-production. So we thought we needed to just kick it up a little bit for the live show. But as far as I was with Caleb, I didn't listen for the full year just because um, I guess I'm really critical of myself and I hard on myself, and I feel too nervous to listen to it in case maybe I hated it, in case that feeling of,
Yeah.
oh, we need to go back in and change things, because that's not really our style to do that. And I don't think we would ever do that. Even if we wanted to, we'd be kind of like, it's done. You know, we worked on it for a full year, so we
Yeah.
kind of had the time to make sure that we did everything right, and we really thought about everything. So no, there wasn't that moment of we need to change this. You know, I listened back to it when the year was over, and I was happy. I was like,
You're happy enough.
it's yeah, it's time to go, to let it go. You know.
And of course, time to take it on the road, as we're all itching for. Fans, bands, DJs, everyone who loves music and live music can't wait. I mean, we look forward to the Kings of Leon show because they tend to be good. Now, Belfast needs you to come and play. I know I can't hold you to it now, but surely it's on the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That
absolutely.
sounds like a hell of a time. I know that from talking to you, you said that Belfast reminds you a little bit about Nashville, or a little of Nashville,
Yeah,
because people have a good time and they like to go out and take in music. And yeah, that sounds like a hell of a time. I'm down for that.
As soon as we can, we're going to be everywhere. You know, because we've been away for so long, even but 4 years before the pandemic hit. So we're ready to be everywhere. So we're going to be there. I promise.
definitely. Great. There was one particular show I remember at a gig called Vital in August, and I think it was just around the time Mechanical Bull came out. It was such a good show. I think you up your game
Thank
when
you.
you come to us. Is that true?
Oh my God, yeah. Come on. We don't have to up our game. I feel like the 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 environment makes us up our game. Anytime we go to a place where people are there to have a good time, sometimes you get lost in it and you just feel like you're part of a party, and that's a fun thing. Obviously, there are times when you hit certain cities, mainly American cities, like big, famous American cities. You can kind of see people that are there just, because it's the cool thing to do. But when you go to a place that everyone's just amped up and ready to have a good time, that's when, you kind of forget, you know, that there's pressure on you to put on a good show, and you just get lost in it.
Mhm.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in Belfast, another gig in Northern Ireland then, and I'm sure you'd like a night out after it as well. You know, the nightlife's pretty good, so make a real
Yeah.
couple of days of it.
Yeah,
Why don't you bring the families?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, can I
sure.
sleep on your couch? But I guess if the family's here, the night out might be a little different.
And I'll hold the same thing for you when I come back to Nashville. No more hotels when I come to that city.
I've got a very comfortable couch.
Look, boys, congratulations. Absolutely loving the album. And I'm not the only one I'm sure is going to be saying that over the next while. So hope to see you soon. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was fun.